Good morning, everyone. Futures Trader Elite here with NQ Premarket Prep on 8/28 of 25. We are going to start with looking at a higher time frame here. Let's pull up I think this is the 1 hour chart. Yep. So you see some of our lines have been breached here on the 1 hour, so we're going to clean that up a little bit. Move those around. I know it's been a little while since I did a pre-market prep. Things have got a little crazy now that the kids are back in school. Okay, so just looking at this 1 hour chart real fast. Got your 1 hour overhead trend line, 1 hour bullish trend line down here. Right now where this is sitting, let's say in pre-market, we can come retest this trend line. If that happens, that would be a plus setup as far as initial reaction for a bounce play. That is not much of a drop. It's at 596 now. That'd be 100 points to get down there on that candle there. But of course, it wouldn't be as far the further we get to the right. We definitely right here, if this was to go up and tag this trend line, which right now we're looking at 663, which ain't very far away. You know, the further it gets over here into this point, if it was in this zone box and it didn't seem like it had enough to break through that trend line, I would still be on the bearish side of things because this is still in a downward trend. We really just have to see what the market gives us today, especially after those earnings on Nvidia yesterday. Got a little wild after hours with the movement. We're still, though, in this downtrend. You see I got my fibs there. We're still hanging out around this 38.2 fib. And then if this was on the 4 hour, though, the 50% fib, it's hanging around a 50% fib. So we're kind of just consolidating in the center of the fib range and trying to figure out which way we're going to go. The problem is, until we make a break one way or another from kind of this consolidation zone, I would still be bearish just because we are in a downtrend, even though we've had some good bounces. I can switch this over and see if y'all can see the difference on the 4 hour. So you can see them. The 1 hour trend lines we have on are still in the same for the 4 hour trend lines. So no matter how you look at it, I mean, it's a higher time frame trend line. If it were to break through it, it's really doing the same thing on the 4 hour that it's doing on the hour. I'm going to put that back to my 1 hour. I like to pull this up during the day while I'm trading and have a look at it. We'll get rid of this. Get back over here. This is right now set on the 1 minute chart. Some things I'd be looking at. I caught the play in NQ yesterday on Nvidia earnings. Overnight, we had a pretty good push. You know, it went up, I think, over 100 points. Yeah, a little bit. I think 120 or 30. It's a good push overnight. It's going to be interesting to see if they which way they're going to try to take this today. Now you can see this red line right here. That's our overhead trend line. I would most definitely if it got there pretty fast, you know, initial reaction, first touch, I'd be going short up there. And the goal would probably be, if we got up there pretty fast, initial reaction, go short, take profit in the zone box. Unless you got to be able to make a judgment call, you know, you won't follow with your stop or whatever, because if it don't, say that only got a 10 or 15 point pullback off the first reaction, you got to be careful for the retest and maybe break through depending on what kind of momentum is there. But if you're following it, you may get a pullback to the zone box, and then it might chop around, try to get back up to that line again to retest. And depending on how that looked, it trying to consolidate and retest would determine whether or not I shorted again there or tried to play it long. Down to the downside, you see we got some zone boxes in here. This is a itty bitty zone box, but it's definitely a zone box. Right in here, you know, it's above it over here, but it rejected. Come up in here, got there, but come back in, and then rejected, come back in, rejected again down to this one, and then it got back to it here, and then got us a push here. So I'd kind of be looking for this to retest this little zone right here. Even if it does, say that it broke it, which it's not a very big one. I think that I only made that zone box is like 5 or 6 points or something. You got this golden pivot here. For me, I think a better play would be if we're going to the downside and we had some speed. The faster we get to these setups that we plan on putting some risk on, the faster it gets there, the better it is for us. So say it pierced through that, I'd be willing to start putting up some risk. Maybe try a few above this pivot point at 555, or if you don't want to risk up there, start them at the pivot point since it's right above this zone box. And depending on how many you want to play, you know, 2 or 3 if you're trading NQ, maybe more if you're doing MNQ, but line them up right here, and then that initial first touch, you should get a bounce there. And then the same thing with this bottom 1 hour trend line. You know, the further we get to the right of the screen today, it wouldn't be till this afternoon before it got inside this zone box, but it'd be worth putting up some risk if it dropped down and hit this trend line right here. That's going to be all that I have for NQ today. Good luck, everyone. We'll try to do a recap at the end of the day, and I'll see you guys then.